record again, and we'll finish having our discussion. We won't be on too much longer, but I want to open it up for any questions at the end here. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again.
Is there a minimum number of pages required for the introductory assignment?
Yes, a minimum of 2.
Yeah, because I'm already doing the rough draft.
I think that's great, right? Because and I'm glad you said that, because I think it's right. It's one of those things where I'm not asking. It's not, like I said, it's not a term paper. I'm not asking you to do a deep dive into a issue that you need to understand every in and out of. Right? It's a very straightforward assignment. Like I said, just to get you started thinking about how the course material impacts you, and of course, tell us about yourself. So that's great. Good job. I'd encourage everybody to get started right away. But like I said, I'll spell things out very clearly in on Blackboard tomorrow, and you'll see the assignment spelled out clearly. That way you can upload it and post as soon as it's done. All right. So we were talking about plagiarism. Okay. So don't do it. If you get caught, it's bad news. If you have any questions about citing, like I said, refer to those guides that are in the syllabus or come talk to me. This is the breakdown. Okay, very simple. I wanted to just break it out so you see the points. Introductory assignments, 100 points. Class quizzes, 100 points. Online discussion post, 80 points. Civil liberties, political cartoons, 70 points. Apply knowledge assignments, 150 points. And then the exams 1, 2, and 3. 100, 200, and 200 points respectively, for a total of 1,000 points, right? So as you go along and you follow along in the grade book, the calculation should be really easy, right? How many points have I earned out of 1,000 points, right? Or how many points have I earned so far? So when all the assignments are completed and all the tests are done, let's say you've earned 850 points, right? You have an 85% in the class, right? Simple math, simple division, right? And then the grading scale is right there. 90 to 100 is 90 to 100% is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and 59% and below is an F. All right. So yeah, so right, we want to be engaged in the material as quickly as you can. Earn those points on those quizzes. Get your questions answered on each and every assignment. Make sure you meet the required components of each assignment, and make sure you submit on time. If you do that and you read and you follow along in the lecture, I'm telling you, people get most concerned about my exams, right? But I'm here to tell you that anybody that's participated in the class and read and participated in lectures, they always do well, right? My exams are not meant to trick you. My exams are meant to test you on your knowledge of the chapters that we've covered. And the exams are 65 to 75 questions depending, typically. So you can see if you're covering 4 or 5 chapters, you don't really get too deep into each chapter. I want you to understand basic concepts. Basic terminology. How do you apply those concepts, right? We're not getting in the weeds on specific dates or the findings in a court case, right? That's not this kind of class, right? You're not in law school. You're not in a upper level political science or history course. I want you to understand the basic components of our system of government and the concepts that go along with it. Okay, fair enough? All right. Okay, incomplete grades. They're at my discretion. That usually happens if you're in an emergency situation at the end of the class, you've kept up on all your assignments, but something's preventing you from finishing the class. Okay, if you want to ask for an incomplete, we can talk about that. If you haven't really been participating in class and you really have too much work to really get done, an incomplete really is not in the cards. I would caution you that, right, it's better just to keep up on all your work, than to ask for an incomplete later, right? So if you have any questions about incomplete grades, let me know. But it's very rare that I've had to deal with incomplete. So my goal is to just help everybody stay on top of their work. So that's not even a question. You have makeup work not offered in this class, not necessary, right? Complete the work that's assigned, you'll do just fine. If you want to communicate with me, goes along with communication and just being respectful and thoughtful. Use my email address, do so professionally, right? That's important. Writing professionally, even in an email, is important, right? You're not writing text, a text message. Don't, use informal language or shorthand. Write everything out professionally. Address. This goes for me or anybody else, right? In a professional setting, just address everybody professionally. Use proper formatting, proper language, end your emails respectfully, thoughtfully, and professionally. Did you have a question, Benjamin? Okay, sorry, I thought I saw your hand. Okay, all right. Blackboard, if you're on this call or you get this video after the case, you've obviously figured out how to use Blackboard. That's a great thing. Sometimes there's glitches or you have trouble accessing some of the components, the assignments, videos on Blackboard or the exams. Sometimes the exams can get glitchy. Just contact me. We can figure it out or work it out with IT. But just make sure early on you're familiar, you're comfortable with Blackboard, and you know how to access everything. If you have any questions about technology, especially with this being an online course, there's some different tools here about PowerPoint, Windows, Adobe, Zoom, if you need those. All right. Academic integrity. This goes along with plagiarism, just to let you know, there's tools that I have at my disposal that I use to just check for plagiarism. So again, just a good reminder, don't do it, don't plagiarize. And then the media that we use. So I will obviously record Zoom meetings. I record all my videos through Zoom, and then I will post links on YouTube. That way you can access them wherever you go. I think figure YouTube is the easiest way to access those videos. You can watch them and listen to them when you're at home or on the go. If you have any problems accessing the videos or other media, just let me know. Electronic devices, right? Just same thing when you're dealing with this online format. Just keep them on silent or keep yourself muted. That way we're not all hearing that. It's not a distraction. And then there's just a variety of other, as we go through notices from the college regarding emergency closures and things like that, you should be aware of. The academic continuity plan, what your students' rights, responsibilities are, grievance policies. So all good things to know and have access to. All right, now here's what I would encourage you to be fully aware of. I'd encourage you to print this out, get it on your calendar, make sure you know when everything's due, what's required of you every week. And this is, I like to lay it all out. Right? So you have your course calendar. You show the week of the semester, the topic, and what's due. What's expected of you, what's due. So we have unit 1, right? We're started week 1 today, right? We're doing the course overview now. Tomorrow you will see a post about the introductory assignment, and I'll give an overview of that, and I will create an assignment portal there so you can post your assignment when it's complete. It'll be due a week from this Saturday. So you can see what's your reading, what assignments are due. Well, you have to read chapter 1, right? And you have to complete the quiz on chapter 1 by 11:59 on Tuesday, August 24th, this Tuesday. Simple, okay? Read the chapter, complete the quiz. You can take the quiz as many times as you want, right? Just start looking at the introductory assignment overview, get an idea of what you want to write about, start writing, create a draft, but pretty light week, right? Just get through that first chapter so that you're prepared, right? If there's questions that we ask or topics that we discuss, I'd love to hear you participate. Even though this is online, I like to ask questions. I like to have discussions, right? You don't need to hear me talk for 2 hours. It's good to have class discussions, right? And I just go through every week, right? Here you go. So we go to the topic. So next Wednesday night, we are going to be discussing chapter 1, right? You're going to be reading chapter 1. You're taking the quiz on chapter 1. So that's all leading up to our discussion of chapter 1 next Wednesday. See, simple, no tricks, right? Straightforward. And then that week, when we start the second week next Wednesday, okay, you're going to be starting to read chapter 2. Okay, you're going to make sure you submit your introductory assignment. By that following Tuesday, you're going to complete the chapter 2 quiz, and so on and so on, right? So we take chapters 1 through 5, and that makes up unit 1, okay? And then you will have the following week, you will have, after that completion, you essentially have a week to study as we move on in the material to study for the exam. Okay? And things like this, when you take the first exam October 5th, you won't have a quiz due that day, right? Because I want you to focus on the exam. But I like to have this all laid out. If there's ever a question on what's expected any particular week, let me know. Or if I made a typo or didn't calculate the dates right, let me know, right? I'll make the change and let everyone know. All right, then we go into unit 2, the politics and governance in America, right? We continue to break everything down by week, so you know where everything's at. And that wraps up with chapter 10. Then we go into unit 3, the institutions, and then that's where we talk about Congress, the president, the bureaucracy, and the courts. And then depending on where we're at, we might dig into state and local government. I think we'll have time for that because I really think it's important when we talk about our federal system of government. It's great to circle back on state and local government and how the states impact the federal government and how the federal government impacts the states and how they kind of all work together. All right, and then like I said, the final exam. Again, this final exam is your third exam, right? It's not an additional exam, it's your third exam. Just make sure you set aside time, depending on your other exams on Monday, December 13th. And again, I open up the exam at 7 a.m. You have till 11:59 to complete it, but usually you have 2.5 hours to complete it once you start. You don't have that whole time. You can't start the exam, walk away, come back, right? Once you start the exam, you have to complete it. You usually have about 2 hours, sometimes more, to complete it. It has to be done in one sitting, but we'll talk about that when we approach the first exam. All right, then the rest of the syllabus just outlines some campus resources that you can read on your own regarding tutoring, learning centers, testing centers, and the like. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing now. You have access to that. That syllabus is on Blackboard now. And with that, I want to just open it up to any questions that anybody might have.
The final isn't cumulative, it's just exam 3, right?
That's correct, right? So each unit has its own exam. So think of it this way. So exactly right. Exam 1 is unit 1. Exam 2 is unit 2. Exam 3 is unit 3, right? So just keep in mind that exam 3 is the final.
Gotcha, thank you. Yep,
good question. And I'll reiterate that through the semester because, like I said, I know when you get bogged down in classes, some classes, do test, have cumulative tests and others don't. So I'll reiterate that. So good question. Any other questions? All right. Would anybody like to share where they're at, a little bit about themselves now, where they're at in their academic career and what they're studying and what they expect to maybe get out of this course? Go ahead, Benjamin.
I want to learn more about our government. I'm currently an undecided major. I'm taking my core courses. I'm dual enrolled.
Okay.
And I eventually want to be able to decide on a major and transfer to a NCAA Division I university like UF or USF or IU or etc.
Sure, sure. And you're trying to figure out now what you want to pursue.
I'm figuring out what I want to pursue. So I'm taking these core courses first, and then I'll hopefully decide on a major.
That's great. That's great. Well, I'm excited to have you. Hopefully, through our discussions, maybe you'll not just in this class, but from what other people comment about their chosen profession or what they're pursuing, that might highlight something that interests you, and hopefully we can help you figure that out. That's great. Well, glad you're here. Anybody else want to jump in? Love to hear from you.
I'm kind of in Benjamin's boat as well. I'm a dual enroll student, and I'm deciding on what kind of major I want. I'm leaning towards mechanical engineering, but once I finish my AA, I want to try to transfer into UF or other major Florida school and see where that gets me.
Very good. Now, the schools you're looking at, strong engineering schools?
Yep. That's
That's
what I'm
great.
looking for.
That's
Either
great.
that or a strong science department, because
Sure.
it's either engines or science that interests me. So
Fantastic. Well, good. Well, I think we'll get into some discussions. I'm interested to hear what you both have to say about, especially in the introductory assignment, about some things that you're interested in, especially professionally, because like I said, that's where this class is so important, right? So we're talking about right off the bat, right? You're not political. You're not looking at political science necessarily or anything involved in that, right? But you have something to come to the table because look, right? When you in mechanical engineering, right? You have regulation, right? The
Yep.
sciences, variety of industries that deal in chemistry, biology, physics, right? You have regulation, right? So government is going to reach you personally and professionally. So looking forward to hearing about that. Who else? Who else would like to jump in? One or two more, anybody? I know I'm putting you on the spot, but that's okay. We'll get, hopefully as we move along, you'll be more comfortable chatting and engaging in this, in our discussions in this format. So encourage you to do that. Encourage you to share your video so we can see your faces. That always helps connect names with faces as we're talking. So I'm not going to require it. I expect that you're paying attention, that you're reading, that you're participating. If I can't see your face, that's not ideal. But think about that as we move forward. It'd be great to see your faces, and as we see your names come across our discussion posts, be able to connect those names with faces. So again, let me see. I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, I think we've covered everything. Like I said, I didn't expect to go nearly the whole time tonight. But like I said, check. I'll let you know. I'll send out a message when the quiz has been posted tomorrow and when the introductory assignment has been posted, laying all that out. So as soon as it goes up tomorrow, you'll be able to look at it. I would encourage you to look at it as soon as you can. That way, if you have questions, you get them answered right away. And
how do I turn in the introductory assignment?
So I'll post, just like there'll be an assignment, essentially portal that you'll be able to access and upload. You'll be able to post directly there. Does that make sense? You posted on
Yes.
Blackboard before? Okay, perfect. So yeah, so we're, I'm not going to have it as a submitted, so it won't be it'll essentially be a discussion board, because I want your classmates to be able to see it. Typically, other assignments will be an actual submission from a Word or PDF document. This will be you'll post directly in, or upload the assignment so that your classmates can read it. And so I want your classmates to be able to access it. All right. So that being said, I will let you know as soon as that's up tomorrow, so you can get started on that. But I'd encourage you to review the syllabus again, access the textbook, download a PDF version of it so you can access the textbook electronically, and you'll have online, but also you have a PDF version just as a safeguard, and just get to reading chapter 1. So the fun really starts next week. We're gonna have a lot. I love, like I said, this first unit. I love this whole class, but this first unit is really a lot of fun, and I tend to find that it brings out a lot of questions and a lot of comments. So I'm looking forward to that next week. So just be ready, get that quiz done, get that reading done. Come with your questions, come with comments. I welcome them all. All right, anything else before we go? Well, that's great. I'm glad you were able to find the link and get on and be on this call. Sorry about the glitch with being kicked off. I'll have that solved because that's crazy. I don't have to deal with that every week. We'll get that fixed. Any questions in the meantime before next Wednesday, before we get to see each other again, just email me. We'll get it solved, and look forward to seeing your faces next week. Have a great evening.
Bye.
Thank you.